Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. I have a couple of books that I want to show you. Some of these books are ones that I picked up at the local comic shop. Others are books that I picked up off of the Feebay. And in one case, there is a box that a subscriber has actually sent to me, and I have no clue what's inside. But if you're curious as to what books I have, I want to encourage you to stay tuned for the video. So as you heard in that brief intro, I am going to show you some books that have recently found their way to me through various means. And before we get to those books, I definitely want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you can stay abreast of all of the content that comes out from my channel. By being a subscriber, it also makes you eligible for the giveaway that I do every single week. And by giveaway, I mean that I'm giving away a cool slab from my friends over at Go Collect, valued somewhere between $150 and $200. We do this every single week, and you are eligible simply by being a subscriber and by watching the videos that come out from the channel. It's relatively straightforward. With that said, let me show you guys some of the books that I picked up. This first book is a one that I snagged from the local comic shop. It is Immortal Hulk issue number 41, and I actually need to look into this one because what's cool is it actually says Kirby down here at the bottom, so I'm not certain whether parts of this have been leveraged from something that Kirby has done in the past. We've actually seen that where they've actually used advertisements that he's done in the past and used them for cover art. So I'm not quite sure whether parts of this were used for that or maybe it was just inspired or an homage. I'm definitely going to look into it, but I thought that was pretty cool to see his name down at the bottom there. The King in Black is really big right now, and here is a copy of Immortal Hulk. It says issue number 1 variant, and again, I have not looked into this to see what that's about because I don't think that this is in issue number 1 of Immortal Hulk or King in Black, but I definitely want to check this one out. A very interesting cover, to say the least, on that one right there. Next up, we have some Amazing Spider-Man. There was something going on with Amazing Spider-Man with this Last Remains story arc that Nick Spencer was doing, where they were doing a regular issue and then they were basically doing a .lr for Last Remains. And so this is issue 54.lr. And I have not been reading these, to be honest with you. I need to play catch up big time on Amazing Spider-Man. I will show you this next book that I actually have read, and it is an Amazing Spider-Man. It is issue number 55. This is an amazing cover, just gorgeous to see this one. I actually heard about this cover a couple of weeks before it came out, and I was fortunate enough to snag a copy of this from my local comic shop. I think I have another copy or two that might be coming in from another shop. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to get a couple of copies of this with the hope that maybe I can actually get a 9/8 out of this thing. But I did read this one. The story, honestly, was not bad. It was not a bad story, and just being completely honest about that. This is a title, X-Men. This is issue number 16 that I am a little behind on as well. I've been spending more time reading a lot of Silver Age books and just modern books that I've never really read before. So I'm just trying to, bounce around and see what else is out there. I still buy these and I will catch up on them at some point, but X-Men issue number 16. Next up, we have Philadelphia, issue number 11. Really cool book right here, and I will tell you, this one makes me sad. Every single issue of Philadelphia that I find tends to have some kind of damage to it, and I do not know why that is the case. But because I still like to buy the book, I sometimes just have to take the damaged book because I honestly don't have a choice. But this is one where it looks like it had been wet and it actually ripped the cover. So not too pleased about that. But thankfully, one of my other shops actually had another one of the covers that is available. And this one actually isn't in bad shape. This is probably one of the nicer covers that I've been able to get of Philadelphia since issue number 1. And so, really cool story. The artwork, okay, but the story is pretty cool. Next up, I actually want to open up a book, and I think I know what this book is. There was some crazy shenanigans going on during the holidays with shipping, where for some reason or another, certain books that were purchased took forever to show up. And I want to say that I actually ordered this book on December 9th, and this book did not show up until January. That's when this book actually showed up, if it's the one that I'm thinking of. And yes, indeed it is. I actually ordered multiple copies of this book from a few different sellers. And this is one of the nicer ones that I ordered. I kept my fingers crossed that this thing would actually show up. This person actually put it in Mylar, and just from the cover of this thing, it is actually in pretty nice shape. One of the corners is a little messed up, but it may still actually get a 9.8 if everything else checks out. And part of the reason why I bought multiple copies of this book is because it is, I think, going to be considered the first appearance of Erratic, who is a really cool character that has been introduced by AWA. And this is actually the free comic book day version of the Resistance. And inside of here, there is actually, I want to say it's like a 5-page preview story of Erratic issue number 1. And the 5 pages that are in here literally lead into Erratic number 1. And so it is not a preview per se. It is like a backup story. 5 pages is basically a backup story. And it's actually a really cool backup story featuring a really cool character, that being Erratic, who is, in my opinion, very reminiscent of Peter Parker. So I had to get a couple of copies of that because I really do dig that character and also that comic. So I'm not sure if you guys watched one of the videos that I released on Christmas Day, but I had an opportunity to work with Mikey Sutton. And he's a guy that does a lot of scoops on things that are happening in Hollywood as it relates to these comic book related properties. He runs and owns geekositymag.com. He gave me a little scoop that I was able to release related to upcoming movies featuring Spider-Man and the possibility that the black costume is going to be worn in those future movies. Because of that, I had to pick up an additional copy of this book right here. It is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 252. And this book, of course, ties with Marvel Team Up issue number 141 for being the first appearance of the black costume. And this is clearly an homage to Amazing Fantasy issue number 15, which is hanging on the wall behind me. It is also a newsstand. It is a 9.6. Unfortunately, it has off-white to white pages, but that's okay. I can live with that. 9.6 newsstand, I'm good. Really cool book. And I will tell you, I really, really want a 9.8 of that book, but the prices that they are asking for a 9.8 of that comic are too much. It is too much in my mind versus the actual FMV of that comic, and I will not catch that brick. So 9.6 it is for me. The very last thing that we're going to do is open up this box right here. And this box actually came from a subscriber by the name of Kevin. And Kevin is actually a new Patreon member. He actually came to GarageCon when I had it in November. And he sent this package over to me. And I have no clue what is inside. So we are going to open it up. And he packaged it well, used some blue painter's tape, and that will allow me to repurpose all of this wonderful bubble wrap because I love Mother Earth. So we're going to unbox this thing and see what it is that Kevin has sent over. So let me open this thing up. Nice little bundle here. Oh man, I just got my first glimpse at what is actually inside. Is a couple of slabs, and there is a note. It says, "Hey Reggie, just wanted to show some love to the community. Please give one away to another subscriber and the other away randomly. Thank you for everything that you do. And this is from my man Kevin. And I'm not going to tell you who that other person is because I want that person to actually be surprised when this shows up. But the books are, let's see if I can get these out of the plastic. He actually, wow, very good. I like that. A lot of people tape the bag, which I'm not a huge fan of, and they tape it with white tape, which means you have to rip the bag, and he used painter's tape. It makes my life so much simpler. The first book that he put in here, that's nice. That is nice. I don't know that I've seen a 9.8 of this book. It is Web of Spider-Man issue 100, 9.8 with white pages. First appearance of Spider-Man's armor, the origin of Night Watch. And this is really cool, especially because they just recently unveiled the new Spider-Man costume that is going to be coming out. I don't know, again, that I've seen this in a 9.8. So that is very cool, Kevin. Brother, thank you for that. And then the next one that he sent over, and I will tell you, I know which one I'm already sending on to somebody. I already know. This next one is Crisis on Infinite Earths issue number 1. It is a 9.8. This is the first appearance of Blue Beetle. Really, really cool book right here by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. This book, I think this one started around the time that Secret Wars was actually wrapping up. And this storyline, Crisis on Infinite Earths, was basically DC's attempt to bring their various continuities and universes all together into one cohesive thing. That's what made this story really, really, really pivotal for DC. So Crisis on Infinite Earths issue number 1. This is really cool. Kevin, shout out to you, brother. I absolutely appreciate you spreading some of that comic book love. And trust me, I will find a way to pass on the one book. The other is about to get bundled up and sent off to you know who. So I want to thank you guys for taking some time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I certainly want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button and to leave a comment behind. If you need to reach out to me for any reason, you can certainly do that on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.